guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It is race week once again and we are in Barcelona, or the Spanish Grand Prix, whatever you want to call it, for this race week, which is very exciting. Obviously Monaco was only last weekend. Still haven't fully recovered from that race. It feels like a fever dream now looking back on it, because Monaco's supposed to be like really boring. So thinking about how many DNFs there was, like the FIA was throwing out penalties like crazy. Thinking back on it, I'm like, I have no idea what happened, and the fact that so many big players didn't get any points in that race is actually insane to me. Like Max, Lando, Charles, and George got no points in that race. So we're definitely going to look back at Monaco and think it's a pretty season defining race. Probably, but all of the races seem pretty season defining right now when George hasn't been on the podium for ages and Kimi keeps winning. But yes, we are in Barcelona this weekend and I'm going to go through my predictions for what I think this race is going to hold for us. So yeah, let's get into it. This track is quite known for showing the true pace of cars, and I think we're all aware that Mercedes is definitely the fastest team at the moment, and Kimi's definitely the fastest driver behind the wheel of a Mercedes. So I had to back him for pole because he's gotten pole so consistently this season. He's so good in qualifying, like he just manages to put the lap together so perfectly in Q3 every single time. So I'm definitely going to back him for pole. And I've also backed him for the win, just because I think it would be stupid at this point. He's won 5 in a row. I think it would be stupid to say anybody else could get the win. I'm pretty sure Ferrari are bringing upgrades to either this race weekend or race weekend in the near future. I'm actually not too sure. But Hamilton probably has gained some confidence with the car after getting P2 last weekend, and he's been like performing very well recently. So maybe we will see slightly less of a gap between the Mercedes of Kimi and the Ferrari of Hamilton. And also Charles is swapping to the race setup that Hamilton has to hopefully eliminate any issues he has with the brakes. So maybe we'll see Charles take a step forward. But I still think Kimi will win. And I also think hopefully George will find his footing again, but I don't think he'll win. I do think until Kimi loses one, I'm going to carry on backing him because I think it would be stupid not to. He's been driving so well. Yeah, it definitely seems like the championship is kind of over already, but at the same time we're only 6 races in, but it would be stupid not to back him. So I said Kimi would win. And for P2 I said Hamilton because, like I said, he did very good last race. He's been doing very good recently overall. So I think he's definitely built up the confidence with the Ferrari car. He obviously likes his setup, and even if there is an upgrade, then hopefully he can take another step forwards. And I think Hamilton is going to be a regular person on the podium from now on, and maybe someone to take the fight to Kimi, but I'm not sure. It depends how Ferrari upgrades their car, because obviously it's not just the difference between driver abilities, it's always a difference between cars that affects stuff like this. But he's currently P2 in the championship, which I didn't realise when I was filming my Monaco race review, that Hamilton has now overtaken George in the championship standings, which is absolutely insane to me, and also proves, firstly, how dominant Kimi has been, how many points George has kind of left on the table, most of them not his own fault though, especially with the DNF in Canada and last race in Monaco with all the penalties. But it is absolutely insane for Hamilton to be P2 in the championship right now, but in a good way. It's nice to see him up there again. So I've said that he will be on the podium, and then I said George will get P3 and finish off the podium, just because I do want to see him come back. he's had such bad luck the past couple of races. Some of the penalties were obviously his fault, some were the team's fault, some were just bad luck. And the DNF was obviously not his fault. It would just be nice to see him regain the confidence in the car. Also, because we're not sure if Ferrari are going to be able to take the fight to Mercedes. So, if Mercedes are this dominant team that keeps moving the line further forward, we want the teammates to be fighting, otherwise we're going to have no championship battle at all. So for the sake of the sport, I would love to see George come back to form. I'm not too well known about his track record around Barcelona, but let's hope it's a track he feels comfortable with, and hopefully we can get some good result out of him. Maybe a little bit of a fight between him and Kimi, because we saw a lot of fighting between him and Kimi during the Canada race before he DNF'd, and that was so interesting to watch. If the rest of the season is like that, I don't mind, as long as we are fighting for points and it's not like mathematically impossible for George to get the championship. I think it will still be interesting to watch. And then I have a couple of surprise predictions for the weekend. Some of these are a bit hopeful, but I think surprise predictions are always quite hopeful because they're unlikely to actually happen, which is why they're surprised. Like if they do happen, it's like, wow, that's crazy kind of thing. But because it is the Spanish Grand Prix, I have gone that Fernando will make Q3, which I would hazard a guess is pretty much impossible to do in an Aston Martin. Maybe I should have made that Q2, but I'm just thinking if, like, for some reason some cars have mechanical failures, like some people just don't get the correct lap in. Like I think Fernando will be on his game, and I think he'll try his hardest because it's the Barcelona Grand Prix. So I think he'll be able to do it. And also he got a point last weekend, which is crazy. Obviously, so many people DNF'd, but still he got a point, which is absolutely insane. So hopefully he'll be riding on that positive wave. So we'll see. I also said Carlos will make it into the points. Um, I think this is completely possible. It's his home race, so he'll have the motivation. And also, he would have got a point last week in Monaco if he hadn't. It wasn't his fault that he crashed near the end of the race, but if that hadn't happened, he would have got a point. And he's got points on the table already. So I think it's entirely possible and I would love to see it, but it can also be classed as a surprise prediction just because we do have a very obvious top four teams. So if it weren't for all of the DNFs, we should have P1 to P8 clearly checked out every single race, and that only leaves 2 point spaces left. But because of all of the DNFs, we've got to see a lot more unexpected people in the points, which is great for the sport. But also, I feel bad for the top runners sometimes when it's just that their car gives up on them. Talking about that, I said that Lando Norris will finish the race, which you do not think I should have to put as a surprise prediction. But when he has had a mechanical DNF 2 races in a row, that's actually insane. And you can just see how well he can drive when his car actually works for him, and his car's just not working for him at the moment, which is such a shame. So I'm really hoping McLaren have like gotten their head around it, even if he does take like a grid penalty, if they have to change like the battery in his car. I'm not even sure if he has another battery for the season because he's already gone through a couple. So even if I have to change a battery in his car and he takes like a grid penalty, do that, because what we want to see is him actually finish a race. Like, even if he doesn't finish in the points, him finishing a race would seem like an accomplishment at this point, which is crazy to say because this time last year he was fighting for a championship, you know? Like, he was falling behind his teammate this time last year, but he was still fighting for a championship. And he just won Monaco this time last season. So, yeah, it's painful to see. So I really hope he gets to finish this race. And then my last surprise prediction, I said Pierre Gasly will be P8 or higher. Pierre has been driving so strong this season. Alpine has finally given him a car that allows him to show his talents, and he's been up there. So is Franco, to be fair, but Pierre has been more consistently up there. Last weekend, obviously without the penalty, he would have got a podium, which is absolutely insane. I'm not sure what happened with that, because I know they were going to try to contest that penalty, but I'm assuming it wasn't possible. But it's such a shame that that penalty happened, because it would have been great to see a Pierre Gasly podium, because the last one we saw was 2024. So it's just these like crazy races that happen, and he manages to get up there, and it's very impressive. But I do think that he will carry this form onwards, and if we have a couple of mechanical DNFs, it makes sense for him to be up there best of the rest. I think best of the rest right now is definitely looking like Alpine and Racing Bulls. Racing Bulls are doing a great job. Arvid has been like consistently impressing me every weekend, and Liam also has been driving well, but we always knew he could do that. So yeah, those are definitely the best of the rest teams as I see them right now, and I do think Pierre Gasly will be able to get some points. So I'm hoping for Pierre Gasly points, Carlos Sainz points, and for Lando to actually finish a race for once, because that would be nice to see him actually just cross the finish line, even if he's not over points, you know. But those are my predictions for the Barcelona Grand Prix. It's exciting to have a double header. At the end of Monaco last weekend, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I want a double header, because that Monaco race was something else. But I am glad we are jumping straight back into another race, so we can just hopefully have, I don't want a boring race, but like a calm one would be nice to see, actually some proper racing. It would be nice to see overtakes again, because when you go to Monaco, you forget that cars can overtake, and that qualifying isn't like a be all and end all, although it is obviously important at every single race. It's very obvious in Monaco that qualifying is a be all and end all. But I hope this race is good. Please like and subscribe if you want to come back for my race review after the race weekend. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys around. Bye.